The F1 Spanish Grand Prix could not come at a more opportune time. This season, Barcelona will be hosting an F1 race after a long time when the home favourite Fernando Alonso could actually have an opportunity to put together a strong result. This weekend is going to be all about the F1 veteran who's enthralled the Spanish fans ever since he burst onto the scene in the early 2000s. The last time he won the Spanish Grand Prix was exactly a decade ago, and this weekend has a possibility that it could be an opportunity to enthrall fans once again. One, if not two, of the biggest obstacles will be the Red Bull drivers. So in 6 races, the Austrians has 6 wins and 6 poles. But anyone betting against them this race will be brave. But can Fernando pull something out of the bag? Let's find out. Some of the key storylines heading into this weekend are the upgrades. With Imola cancelled and Monaco not being an ideal track to bring upgrades, it's always going to come down to Barcelona. This weekend, almost all teams will be bringing their sets of major upgrades in the bid to have improvements. Like Mercedes, Ferrari, and Aston Martin will certainly have a spotlight on them as they try to eat into the gap on Red Bull. These upgrades will be the first real attempt to put together a challenge against Red Bull for the sake of the fans. And yeah, for kind of even probably not even a title battle, but for some more competitive races this season, yeah, we're kind of relying on them. And the number two is the return to the old layout. Overtaking has been a major concern this season, with cars struggling to follow more than expected. Barcelona is never been one of the tracks that's considered an overtaking heaven, but there are still places where you can overtake. The track is wide enough to pull off an overtake. To add to this, the removal of chicane in the last sector and the reversal to the old layout. It's one of the best things done to improve the layout. It'll be interesting to see what kind of impact it has on the cars, and as well as overall if it improves the racing. And is the title battle still on? Heading into this race, Max Verstappen leads by 39 points. Not only that, the reigning champion does not appear to have any conclusive challenge from any other team. It's common paddock perception that Verstappen is a level above his teammate, and slowly but steadily this has become more and more clear this season as well. If Verstappen ends up winning the Spanish Grand Prix, even if Perez finishes P2, the championship deficit could be almost 50 points. 7 races into 22 season. This might not yet be the best product that F1 want in order to smash all of its new geographies that it's so keen on doing at the moment. But yeah, moving on to an on-form driver, and that's Alpine, who's shown an improvement over the last few races after the CEO called out the French outfit. The podium in Monaco was a great race for Ocon, and to be fair, the signs have been there in other races as well. Alpine is still not in the mix among the top four, but giant killing performances are just what that team needs to keep on going. So yeah, I think they'll definitely be a lot more optimistic coming into this weekend. Out of form coming into this weekend is most certainly Sergio Perez after a weekend from home, and anyone in championship contender just simply cannot afford that weekend. Coming into this weekend, Perez season at Crossways, either he beats Verstappen in Barcelona and more or less settles in the all too familiar role, supporting role in the championship. Which one will it be? I kind of fear it'll be the latter, but I really hope for the sake of championship battle it'll be the former. But yeah, we'll have to see. But who will win this race? The Red Bull's performance of Max Verstappen's tenacity is one that's undeniable, and at the moment it's hard to pick anyone else. Verstappen has shown an ability to win from P9 even when his teammate starts in the same car from pole. When we hope the competition catches up, unless there is tangible evidence of that happening, it would be foolish to pick anyone else but Verstappen. But yeah, it would be impossible not to pick Fernando Alonso as a driver who could do something special too. Well, winning a race might be a step too far, but replicating the P2 finish in Monaco, that could definitely well be done. We're predicting a Fernando Alonso podium in Baku, and yeah, in Barcelona, sorry, and maybe it could be close to Perez for P2 too. Many have written off Esteban Ocon's performance as a one-off and something that may be hard to replicate on other circuits where overtaking's easier, but he controlled the pace of the field behind him, and even when he was in the pack after his first stop, his pace was quite competitive. While it would be ambitious to expect another podium for Alpine, another strong result could be possible, and maybe they could be fighting it out with 2, 3 and 4, Martin, Ferrari, Mercedes. So yeah. But yeah, moving on then to the team that might struggle this weekend. McLaren came alive around the streets of Monaco, but the car is certainly going to get exposed here for a few shortcomings exposed on a track like Barcelona. While a double points finish was impressive for Monaco, the Spanish Grand Prix may turn out to be a bit of a struggle, and Lance Stroll has had 2 bad performances in a row and heads into the Spanish Grand Prix with only 27 points to his name. Fernando Alonso has almost 4 times that, and yeah, that's also L and scored all podiums. This team has had a few of the starting to become a one driver team, and yeah, unfortunately for Lance, it does seem to be heading this way. And yeah, he needs another good performance. He needs a good performance to really turn things around, because at the moment it is a bit of a struggle for him. There were several big stories coming into the paddock ahead of the Grand Prix weekend. The upgrades obviously being a hot topic. Have any of the teams closed in on Red Bull? Mercedes kind of showing that maybe they have closed in on Red Bull slightly, but is it going to be enough to really challenge them for race wins yet? At this point, definitely not. And yeah, Fernando Alonso dreaming of a Spanish Grand Prix win. Wouldn't it be an incredible story? But yeah, in the end, not a huge amount of news in a pack on Thursday. And let me move on to my predictions. And yeah, it kind of does seem to be getting a bit repetitive at the moment, these predictions. But it's hard to predict anyone else at the moment, really. I think on pole and winning the race is going to be Max Verstappen. He's just too strong at the moment for everyone, especially in that absolute rocket ship of a car. I think Perez will bounce back, not maybe have enough pace to beat Verstappen, but at least be in relative contention. So I'm going to say P2 for him, and P3 I'm going to say Fernando Alonso will get a coveted home race podium, and that would be great to see. But moving on into P1, sorry, and yeah, it was Max Verstappen who was fastest. Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon third, Nick de Vries fourth, which was really impressive lap. But yeah, really, we didn't get too much of a reading. It's kind of just a classic FP1 session where you can read too much into it. But yeah, good start for Red Bull, and I have to say their pace looked pretty ominous here. In P2, it was Max Verstappen and Red Bull that were on top once again. But it was Fernando Alonso in second, Nico Hulkenberg in third, Sergio Perez in fourth. They were quite close behind. So yeah, may give us some more hope of some competitive weekend. But yeah, quite a jumbled up order. Couldn't read too much into it, especially with like Hulkenberg in third. No disrespect to them. But yeah, Red Bull's pace looking really good. Mercedes struggling a bit, down in 8th and 11th. Same to be said for Ferrari in 6th and 7th. So yeah, definitely shaping up for an interesting Saturday. But anyway, guys, that's it for here. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, comment, comment, for daily F1 news, and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.